on, everybody? Welcome into Tennessee Football Talk. My name is Joey Peterson. So happy you're joining me on your Sunday. We got a lot to talk about today. First up, I think Tennessee got an absolute steal with wide receiver Gavin Freeman last night. I feel like not enough people are talking about this addition, so I want to break it down and why I feel like this is one of the more underrated moves that Josh Heupel and the staff have made so far. After that, we're going to talk transfer portal visits scheduled for today. It is Sunday. They're going to get a lot in today because tomorrow, the 12th through the 14th, is what is called a dead period, meaning no in-person contact with anybody in the transfer portal. You can communicate via phone. You cannot go visit them. They cannot come visit you. So they're trying to stack in as many visits today as they can. I'll tell you who's going to be on campus. I'll tell you a little bit more about their stats, why you should be excited about their possible fits with Tennessee. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Make sure you subscribe if you have not joined us yet. We've been growing like crazy during this transfer portal season, and that's because we've been giving you 2 videos a day. Perfect reason to hit that sub button and lock us in. Let's start with last night, right? Gavin Freeman. I believe this guy is an absolute steal, okay? I think this is a very sneaky good move from the Tennessee Volunteers because it's easy to look at the statistics and see 53 catches, 481 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I think automatically that might bring you to say, Joey, what are you talking about? We're doing a video over a guy who caught for 481 yards. That wouldn't have even been top 3 on this team last year. And you're not wrong. I get what you're saying. But we got to take into account who he played for in 2025. It was Oklahoma State. They were one of the worst Power 4 teams in college football. In fact, his 481 yards receiving, it leads the team. It was the only person on the team to go for over 400, and it was a fourth of the receiving production. They only threw for 2,000 yards last year. His 4 touchdowns are more than the rest of the team combined in receiving touchdowns. They only threw for 7 touchdowns last season, and he caught 4 of those. And so, yeah, on the surface, it doesn't look like much, but you got to go deeper than that. It's more than just the statistics. It's who he was getting those stats for. 481 yards on Oklahoma State is a massive, massive feat. In fact, if you were to pretty much say 25% of Tennessee's passing production last year, which is what he got for Oklahoma State, that would have been a 900-yard receiver for Tennessee. That's how the math goes out to that. And so I think you should be really excited about it. I also think he's a really exciting player, really good athlete, got speed on top of speed. He's a guy that's going to help you in special teams as well. And with the departures of Peyton Lewis and Boo Carter, who also is heading to Colorado, who could have seen that coming? I think this is a really, really underrated move. I don't think a lot of people are going to talk about it until the season rolls around because it's not flashy. But I think this is a guy that's going to come up clutch. And I get it. Doesn't feel like you need a ton of help at the wide receiver spot. Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews, Travis Smith, or Darius Jackson, Tristan Keys, Ethan Davis, like we talked about. But I would not be shocked one bit if Gavin Freeman has a much, much, much bigger impact than a lot of people are thinking he's going to. Okay, so you should be really excited about that. Let's talk about visits for today. They got a decent bit of them. Starting off, Qua Russaw will be in Tennessee. He'll get there around lunchtime. He'll depart tomorrow. Austin Price, we've been keeping you updated on this. Pretty much since Qua Russaw entered the transfer portal, he talked about how there has been a lot of conversations between his camp and Tennessee. Unfortunately, there's a lot of other teams that have had a lot of conversations with Qua Russaw because that is a player that a lot of people are very, very interested in. Okay, so look, this is a really talented player. There's a reason he was such a highly rated recruit. I don't think his career has panned out how he thought it would at Alabama. It's the reason he's entering the transfer portal. But with guys hitting the exit door like Jordan Ross, Caleb Herring, Josh Josephs going to the NFL draft, sure, you just got Chaz Coleman yesterday. You need more bodies. And I like Qua Russaw because he's a different type of body on the defensive line. Jim Knowles has come out and said over the last couple of weeks that, look, I like my edge rushers to be a little bit bigger, right? To not be built as much like James Pierce Jr. or like Caleb Herring was. Taller, slender, a little bit stockier, bigger build. That's exactly what Qua Russaw is. James Smith is also joining him Sunday to Monday as well. What I love about James Smith is you are possibly getting a guy who has played a ton of football. 15 games played for Alabama last season, 422 snaps. And the cool thing about James Smith and Qua Russaw is they were teammates together in high school. So I don't want to put it in your mind that if you get one, you get both. Like, I don't know for sure if it is a package deal. But it does feel like that a little bit, right? They went from high school to college together. It's not crazy to think now they're both in the transfer portal, they might follow each other to where they're ever going to play next. Gavin Sawchuk out of Florida State, running back. He is going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee. He arrived late yesterday. He's going to depart today in the afternoon. 486 yards, 109 carries, 4.5 yards a carry, and 8 touchdowns this past year, over 1,400 yards in his career. Redshirt as a true freshman in 2022. You need help at the running back position, okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You just need bodies. Look, I love Deshaun Bishop. So glad they locked him down. So glad he's coming back for another season. I'm excited about Dwayne Morris. I feel like we saw, bits and pieces and flashes of him this past season. But you need more depth. You need more players. Peyton Lewis hitting the portal. Star Thomas is gone. You need to get somebody out of the portal. And that guy might be Jacoby Jackson. Out of Florida. Earned his medical red shirt in 2025. Only played in 4 games. 5'11", 215. He's been fine in his time with Florida. 607 yards, 122 carries, 5 yards a carry. He's been playing college football for a very, very long time. He will be there this morning, and he'll leave later today. Again, same thing I said with Sawchuk. You need bodies, you need players, you need guys that you can hand the rock to and feel good about them being able to pick up some yards. And I'm all about having a little bit of a 1-2 punch, at that position. Unfortunately, Bryson Washington was a guy I was getting really excited about. Running back out of Baylor. Nothing really ended up happening out of that. Jacoby Jackson, I would be pretty pumped up about. 3 defensive linemen will also get there early Sunday morning and leave in the evening. Well, Dalen Evans leaves on Monday. Actually, Jordan Norman got there yesterday afternoon. He'll leave today. Regardless, they're on campus right now. That's Walter Mathis Jr. out of LSU. Freshman, 3 years of eligibility. Dalen Evans at A&M. Freshman, 3 years of eligibility. Both of those guys are bigger bodies, younger. They don't have a massive body of work as of right now just because of their age, just because they did not play a ton of football last year. And so, you need depth at the defensive line. Awesome getting a guy like Xavier Gilliam in. But, we talked about James Smith earlier, the Alabama defensive lineman. It's great that he's played a lot of football, but you're not going to get him for very long. You get one of these two guys, you got him for at least 2 years if you can keep him in Knoxville. At the least. At the most, you got him 3 more years. I think that's very, very beneficial. And then Jordan Norman, 28 tackles, 8 tackles, and 8 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks for the Tulane edge rusher. 6'4", 250 pounds. He's got 2 years of eligibility remaining. Again, he got there yesterday afternoon. He'll leave probably in like 4 to 5 hours from Knoxville. I'm really, really, really all in on this guy. Look, I was excited about Chaz Coleman, but there's always risk involved, right? There's always risk involved when you get in a young guy who has not produced much. We have seen Jordan Norman produce in college. Now, he did it for Tulane. I'm not saying doing it at Tulane is the exact same as doing it at Tennessee. There's going to be a step up in competition. He's going to have to take a step up. But we at least know he's got the pedigree, right? We at least know he's able to do it at the college level. That's very, very attractive to me, especially when right now your edge rusher group is very, very unproven. I would like to get a guy in there. I'm sure Jim Knowles and Josh Heupel share this same sentiment. I'd like to get a guy in there who can help you out big time, that can be a guy that you can trust, who has a lot of really good production. Well, that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get out of here. I got to get ready to go to church. Usually I work Sundays, NFL season. I cover the Packers and the Ravens. Obviously, last night, Packers lost a crazy playoff game. So I got the Sunday off. So I'm excited to head to church with my wife. And regardless, we're going to be back later today with another video. I got to go pick up a new kitchen table from Facebook Marketplace sometime in the afternoon. But once I get back from doing that, we'll get you guys covered. Giving you guys a little bit of an insight to the life. I guess what happens when you ramble on at the end of a video. Okay, I'm done. See you guys later today, and y'all have a great Sunday.